Hi, welcome to my channel, Business and Consumer Network. On this channel, we discuss various topics concerning business and consumer issues. Today, we'll be discussing basic things that are needed to start a business. These things can be used to start any business, whether it's small, medium, or large. Okay. I do want to thank you guys for tuning into my last video. This is a new channel, so it does really help me out if you hit the like button, if you subscribe, hit the notification, and view the video and share it. I think it's some really good things that can help you out. So today topic is the basic things that are needed to start a business. Okay, and one of the first things that I always do when I start a business is I research the licenses and permits that are needed in the particular area that I am starting the business. All businesses don't need a license, so you do have to check your county that you're in. You should check the city, and you do need to check the state as well. Certain businesses will require you to take classes, such as what's really popular now are food trucks and catering businesses. In a lot of states, I know in the state that I'm in, you do have to get a food handling permit. You have to take a certain amount of classes every 2 years to renew that permit and the licenses for that. Food preparation, food handling, to learn the temperatures and things like that. So you do want to check your state. Most of the states are called the Department of Business and Professional Regulations. So you do want to check the state, you want to check the county, and you want to check the cities. If you do have something like a food servicing business, each city you in, you most likely will need to have a license in that city. So that's why you do need to check locally to see what is needed to start that business or to operate that business in that particular city. A lot of people, they buy a food truck. I have a friend that recently did that, but he wasn't aware of that he would need a state licenses, and was not aware that each city that he set that truck in, he most likely need a license or a permit to do that. So that's why it's important to check that out. So one of the next things that I find that is needed is a business plan / business guide. Don't have to call it a business plan, but you do want to make sure that you're writing down have a plan together. If you're going to need financing, whether it's from family members or friend, at least you have some type of an organized plan so that they can see what the business is about, what the expenses are, what you are projecting. A business plan, of course, if you're not in business, you don't know what it's going to take, but this is a projection of what you think you may need. The expenses, again, if it's something like food servicing, you want to know what it's going to cost you to sell each item. All the way down to the condiments that you may need, the napkins that you're going to give. You want to know what it's going to cost you to actually sell each particular item. If it's a servicing business as well, what are you going to charge? What time? How you're going to take on each client. I had a marketing business, an advertising distribution company. So I did my plan projection. I think 3 to 5 years is a good time frame for you to do it. I found in my business that every August I got slow, and every December, the second week in December up to February, the second week in February, I was slow. And I noticed the first year this happened, the second year and the third year. So this was a trend. So it allowed me to be able to save for those slow periods. I found out that in August, most people in the States take their last vacation for the summer. I didn't know that before, but I found out what is going on, why I'm so slow. Through research and all, this is what I found out. And December, the second week of December, people are preparing for Christmas. And it goes all the way to like the second week in February for me, for the business that I had. So people were preparing for Christmas. January, they were paying off those bills. The beginning of February, they were paying off their bills. And then after that, business started back as usual. So this is why it's good to write this down, to have a business plan or even a business guide, something that you can fall back on and look. And like I said, it does help you with your cash flow and things in that nature. I will also say, a lot of people, when they do business plans, they don't add a marketing plan in there. And this is important because marketing, even though, I had a marketing business, so of course I'm big on marketing, but if depending on what product you're selling and where you are, some places you can set up a business and you have a lot of foot traffic. Like in New York, I lived in New York before, and I would see maybe a donut shop or a little pizza shop open up, and bang, people would just fill it up because you have a lot of foot traffic. A lot of places you don't have this, so you may have to market and advertise, put out flyers, send out your menus, things in that nature. So you do want to have a marketing plan with that. That's important. One of the next things that I would say with this is that you do want to choose what type of business entity you're going to have. Whether it's going to be a sole proprietorship, whether it's going to be a C Corp, an S Corp. What's really big now is the LLC, the Limited Liability Corporation. You have to see what works for you as far as tax-wise and things in that nature. A lot of the businesses I started, the small ones, I set them up initially as a sole proprietor. That is like John Smith doing business as, it's a DBA, doing business as John Smith Painting or John Smith Lawn Service. That is the easiest way to start it up. What's really good with this is that when you do your taxes at the end of the year, your 1040, you add a Schedule C with that. The Schedule C is kind of good for a small business because the government actually helps you put your taxes, like your employee payroll taxes, your Medicaid, Medicare and things like that, FICA, it allocates that for you. So they help you out with that when you do that. That's considered self-employed. But then you have, I had one that was an S Corp. Then you may have a limited liability corporation. So you have to research and see what one works for you and what fits. LLCs, corporations, you do pay a state fee for that. It could be anywhere from $300 to $500 or more, depending on what state you're in. So that's one of the reasons, too. I always like to set it up and get it going, see how it was going before I actually incorporate it. Okay, so you have to do that. And the last thing that I find is the employee identification number. A lot of people think that if they get an employee identification number at EIN, that automatically means that they're in business, and it's not. I worked in consumer sales and in business sales, and then I was recruited to work in enterprise sales for two of the largest cell phone companies in the world, actually. And when I did the small business and enterprise were setting up 101 plus lines. I think one of the largest accounts I did was 1,000 lines, and it was someone that owned a few McDonald's and something like that. And people will call in and they say, "Oh, I just got my EIN." And I say, "Well, how long have you been in business?" And they would say, "Oh, well, yesterday. I just got it yesterday." They thought that meant they were in business, and it doesn't. An EIN, it helps you. Okay, if you're a subcontract or an individual and you have a business, your EIN, it allows you, number one, as a business to you employ people, and you use that as your tax identification number as a business or corporation. Now, if you're self-employed, you're working for yourself, if you're doing Uber or something like that, you can get an EIN, and when they want your tax information, you give that instead of your social security number. So instead of handing your social security number out, you can give your EIN out, and that will allow your people that you're working for to do a 1099 or to do your W-2 for you. If you usually with your W-2, you don't do a EIN. That's you as a company or as an independent contractor. As an employee, you would do a W-2. But you use your EIN. When I do consulting work, I give the company that I'm consulting for my EIN. so that they can actually, when they're doing their taxes, they let the government know that they paid me X amount of dollars for consulting. So EIN does not necessarily mean you're in business. It does not put you in business. It doesn't mean you are a business owner. There's a lot that goes in with that, your licensing, your permits, and things like that in that nature. And again, I wanted to mention, if you do happen to do a sole proprietorship, you do always want to separate your funds. It's easy with the sole proprietorship to commingle your funds, and you want to make sure you're not doing that. You still want to keep everything separate, even though you're doing a sole proprietorship. So I'll do some videos a little bit more in depth and the different business entities, the sole proprietorship, the S Corp, the C Corps, the limited liability corporations, and with EIN. I'll do some more videos on that to break that down. I also had a few people request information on consumer math, business math. So, one person, they had a bakery shop they were thinking about opening, and they wanted to know how to calculate the cost of the items. And that's very detailed as well. So I'll do something on that. One, I've had a couple of requests from the last video. This is a new channel. So I do want to really, really thank you guys with the last video for tuning in. But I had some people ask for about 5 more things that they can do to make money during a slow economy. So I'll be posting another video on that as well. So just let me know how you felt about this video. Remember to like it and share it, and subscribe. And until the next time, just love and peace, and thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you the next time. Hopefully next week I'll be putting out another video, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.